A very good morning to all the students. This is Veena teacher. Let us quickly recapitulate what we saw in previous module. In previous module, we saw effluent treatment plant and biogas plant. In this module, we're going to start with Basel Convention. Basel Convention on the control of transboundary movements of hazardous waste and the disposal. It is an international treaty that is designed to reduce the movements of hazardous waste from the developed countries to the less developed countries. So here what happens usually is whatever developed countries the waste is generated by the developed countries is usually released or usually transferred to the less developed countries. So this stopping of this particular movement is a motto of Basel Convention. The following are the objectives of the Basel Convention. First, the reduction of hazardous waste generation and the promotion of environmentally safe management of hazardous waste. Second, the restriction of transboundary movement of hazardous waste except where it is perceived to be in accordance with the principles of environmentally sound management. And third, a regulatory system applying to the cases where transboundary movements are permissible. So this particular treaty helped the less developed country not to stock the waste materials from the developed nations. So this convention is the Basel Convention. Now let us start with the next segment, that is 3 R's. This is very familiar to all of you because our school is a very environment conscious and environment friendly school. So the 3 R's, they stand for reduce, reuse and recycle. Now let us see something about these 3 R's and its significance. Now here the significance of 3 R's is 85% of a garbage is sent to a dump or landfill where it is taken from 100 to 400 years for things like cloth and aluminium to decompose. Glass has been found in perfect condition after 4,000 years in the earth. Reducing, reusing and recycling are important because they decrease the amount of waste on the planet and preserve natural resources by maintaining space and cutting down the landfills. Reducing, reusing and recycling is a norm or is a way of life that we have to adopt now. Now first let us start with reduce. Now here the concept of reduce, that is reducing the amount of waste you produce, is the best way to help the environment. So there are lots of ways by which you can reduce the waste. So here the first step is not to generate the waste, because once you generate the waste, again you have to go to either reusing them or recycling them. But when you are conscious or when you know that the waste is going to be generated and you take proper steps not to generate the waste, then that is your first step of victory. Now the next step is reuse. The concept behind the second R, that is reuse, is that you should reuse the items such as much as possible before replacing them. So whatever items that are there with us, like maybe any kind of old clothes or any kinds of old paper, etc., old notebooks, all these must be reused as much as possible. Children, these days wearing of the mask is compulsory, and here in Jamshedpur also you're advised to wear masks whenever you go out, and this is going to be the kind of lifestyle that we're going to have for coming years. So all of you can take out the old neat cotton cloth, and then you have lots of YouTube tutorials in which you can see how to make a mask in the house. So all of you, please start making your own masks. You can make a few masks, different colored masks if at all you fancy. Then you can just start wearing the masks. You can also donate the mask to your near and dear as well. So this particular step is called reusing. The concept behind the third R, that is recycle, is that you should ensure that the items on their components are put to some new purpose as much as possible. So for example, if at all you're unable to reuse the entire item, you can just cut the items into small parts, whichever parts which it can be cut into, then you can recycle it while for using it for a different purpose. So these are the 3 R's: reduce, reuse and recycle. Now here children, just you can just think about this. Think about the waste that is generated in your house. So since you're there in the house these days, you can just have a look in your dustbin, and you can just check what all items are usually thrown in the dustbin. It is mandatory in Jamshedpur that you have to dump the waste separately for the wet waste and dry waste. So it is very easy for you to check also what kind of waste materials are there in the bins. You just check this maybe for 2 to 3 days, then you will understand in your house usually what kind of waste is generated. Now, the next step is, after analyzing the waste materials that are generated in your house, the next step for you would be think about reducing, reusing, and recycling the waste materials that is generated in your house. This is very important. Children, please take this very seriously, because this is how our lifestyle is going to be in the coming days and coming years. Now, while making this video, I came across a very interesting one video pertaining to zero waste city in Japan. So it seems there is a city in Japan, and this city has maybe some kind of a limited number of population, and the entire city is zero waste city. Imagine in a house where we are maybe 3 to 4 people or maximum 5 people living, we generate so much of waste. The entire city in Japan, that is the houses as well as whatever schools they're having or offices and even shops, etc., there's nowhere waste is generated in this city. So I have put that link here. You can just check out the link and try to see how this particular city in Japan has achieved this zero waste city tag. And this particular city has been zero waste city from the past decade. It's not that they started this pretty recently. From the past 20 years they have been working on this, and now they are zero waste city in Japan. So it is very interesting phenomenon. I want all of you to have a look, and then just to start with your houses, please check the kind of waste materials that are generated in your houses, and think about innovative ways by which you can recycle the waste materials in your houses. Children, there is one small segment that is the last segment in this chapter, that is alternative use of timber, or alternatives to timber. Trees are cut at a rapid rate to meet the demands of the people. This has resulted in reduction of forest area and deforestation. Due to this, there is a necessity to think beyond trees and create new alternatives to timber that is environmentally appropriate, socially beneficial, and economically viable. So what are the various alternatives to timber that we can have, so that we do not depend upon cutting of trees to make furniture? That's what we're going to see in this particular segment. The first is hemp. Hemp is a fast growing sustainable crop that generates more construction grade fiber than most of the trees. It has medium density and twice as strong as wood. So this is one very interesting alternative to timber. Second is wood composites. Wood composite materials combine wood with recycled plastic. These composite materials are easy for maintenance and are durable. Third is cork. Cork is made with bark rather than core of the tree. This means it decomposes faster. Means you're not cutting the entire tree. What you're doing is you're just scraping out the bark and then using the bark for making various furniture items. This is popularly used as flooring material. Next is sawdust. Whenever wood or paper products are made, waste known as residue or the byproducts is created. This includes sawdust, wood shavings, wood shreds of paper, etc. These materials also can be used as plywood. Here you can see I have put a picture. This is a furniture. This is a very fancy chair, and you can say sofa kind of a chair, which is made from hemp. So the alternative timber, these are now picking up in trend also. People are also now environment conscious. They don't want to cut the trees. They don't want any kind of materials which came from cutting down the trees. So these are the various alternatives that we are going to explore now in the coming years, so that the dependency on the trees is greatly reduced and we do not cut the trees for our purposes. This is the last segment of this chapter, children. I have given already the assignment sheet. You can go through the assignment sheet. Also, the project sheet you might have received. All of you, please go through the project sheet. In the next class, I'm going to discuss few question answers which are very important from this chapter, as well as I'm going to discuss about the project, how to do the project of environmental application in standard 10. That's it for today's class, all of you. Thank you all. Stay home, stay safe. God bless you all.